this basically confirms it. We finally get clarity on the timeline of a contract extension that everyone has been asking about, and we got to break this down. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Before we hop into the video for today, only 39.8% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please take a second, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a ton. Hopping into the news that we have for today, coming from Jets training camp, an interview with Breece Hall. The New York Jets' new brass handed out two big-time deals this offseason. Breece Hall isn't expecting his payday to come down before the 2025 campaign. Hall said Saturday that he isn't concerned about his next contract. He's simply focusing on proving his worth this season. He said, "I'm not really expecting it before the season," he told reporters. "We got a new head coach, Aaron Glenn, new GM, Darren Mougey. Obviously, I wasn't drafted by them. I'm not their guy. So for me, like I said, I got to prove it every day. For me, I got a chip on my shoulder. I feel like right now, okay, it's my last chance. For me, it's always been, he's got potential, he's got potential. But now I want to be the product. It's all about putting my head down and working. I don't really want to discuss all the other stuff. For me, I just try to worry about ball right now." So this is an absolutely perfect response from Breece Hall in terms of, there have been questions. Is he going to get traded? Is he going to be, even the starting running back, with Aaron Glenn talking about the committee backfield approach? But Breece Hall is taking the exact correct approach by saying he is not going to listen to what anyone's saying. He's just going to step up every single day and play as hard as he can, play as good as he can to prove that he deserves a contract extension with the Jets or a bigger contract in free agency if he does indeed get there in the next offseason. Now, of course, Breece Hall has looked like he's about to break out every single year, but as a rookie towards ACL, second year came back very, very strongly, but then his third year, he didn't play as well, didn't even eclipse 1,000 yards. Now, I absolutely agree with Breece Hall when the narrative around him always is he's got potential, because he really does. Looking at the prospect he was when we took him in the second round out of Iowa State, looking at how good his rookie season was, even every single time he touches the ball, we're saying he has potential because we branded him as the home run hitter, because that's really what he is. He has a tendency to, instead of taking what is blocked for him, he likes to go to the outside to try to make a bigger play than what is maybe there or what is blocked for him on that play. So even on a play-to-play basis, we say he has potential because he always has potential to break something deep. Now, he finally wants to actually get some concrete, better stats and actually not be potential and be the result of the potential turning into something great. Now, there was more coming from this article. Hall's coming off a disappointing 2024 season, logging 876 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns, along with 57 catches for 483 yards. Earlier this offseason, the Jets running back thought he may be traded, but head coach Aaron Glenn told Breece Hall, "You're our running back." Entering the final year of his rookie contract, the 24-year-old running back is the leader of the New York Jets running back room, which didn't add a significant player to the equation. With Braelon Allen and Isaiah Davis next in line, if the shifty back gets things on track in the new Jets offense, he'll be in line for that payday in the offseason. Now, of course, what this article is referring to is our new head coach, Aaron Glenn. He's came out and said he plans on using a committee backfield, which means he is going to be not giving the number one running back as many touches as they usually get. He will be scaling down the touches for our running back one, Breece Hall, and spreading out those touches between three running backs. Those three running backs, of course, being Breece Hall, Braelon Allen, and then Isaiah Davis. Now, the good things, the benefits of this committee backfield system is Breece Hall is fresher when he gets on the field because he gets less touches, and also he has less injury risk because obviously when you're a running back, just the more touches, the higher risk of injury. It's just that simple. So when you are able to take away those touches from Breece Hall, he will not have that as much injury risk. And another benefit is you get to play players to their exact strengths. Like when it comes to Braelon Allen, who is going to be the next running back up in this committee backfield, Braelon Allen's specialty is, of course, down on the goal line, where Breece Hall hasn't been the most effective goal line back. I mean, he's pretty good. I really don't think the New York Jets have to use a running back by committee approach. Aaron Glenn, obviously comes from a very, very strong two-headed monster with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery in Detroit, where David Montgomery was that goal line back who, got all the goal line touches, and Jahmyr Gibbs was the scat back, got a lot of receiving work out of the backfield. Breece Hall is definitely the number one receiving option that we have on this team. Honestly, if I was coaching the team, I would not be running the running back by committee specifically here. I think Breece Hall is the best at pretty much everything outside of pure goal line when it comes to, but that's when you would put in Braelon Allen, because he is that goal line back, standing 6'4", 220 plus pounds. This dude is a big running back, obviously not the fastest, but when you're on the goal line, there's only so many yards that you have to go. And then, of course, we cannot be forgetting about our final running back in this equation, Mr. Isaiah Davis, drafted one round after Braelon Allen last year in the draft in round 5, coming out of South Dakota State. He was a pretty good prospect. I liked him because I thought he was a very well-rounded player. He was fast enough. He was big enough. He could catch the ball very well. He showcased that at the Senior Bowl coming out before the 2024 draft. And the fact that our GM, Joe Douglas, decided to take running backs in back-to-back rounds on day 3 showed that they had a really high grade on Isaiah Davis. And even though they already took a running back, they could not ignore the value that Isaiah Davis was, and they took him back-to-back in the draft. I know a lot of people don't like, they want to spread out the draft picks because they say, we already got a running back in Braelon Allen, so why would we take another running back in the draft in Isaiah Davis? And that's because this happens when organizations and GMs, they have a very similar grade on both players, with, in this case, Braelon Allen and Isaiah Davis, and they didn't know who they should have taken, but they went with Braelon Allen, and then they also, the next round, Isaiah Davis, the guy who they were considering drafting in the 4th round with their earlier pick, he's still there. They go, I mean, if we were considering him in the 4th round, we have to go ahead and take him in the 5th round. I actually absolutely respect the heck out of the strategy, because you should be drafting for value instead of team need, because, everyone, you can talk about positional value, you can talk about how much you need a certain hole to be filled on your roster, but in the 4th round, in the 5th round, you can't really fully expect anything. You can't depend on these rookies to fill a need in your roster, so you might as well take the guy who has the best chance at becoming the best player. And this strategy of taking the best player available, it can work out in ways that you don't expect. In the 2023 draft, the Green Bay Packers did the same thing. They had very similar grades on both Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft at tight end. They took Luke Musgraves in the 2nd round, and then they came back around in the 3rd round, and Tucker Kraft was still on the board. So the Green Bay Packers, their GM, decided to just go ahead and take another tight end. Now, a lot of people definitely criticize them for taking 2 tight ends on day 2, but now we fast forward 2 years, and Luke Musgrave, the first guy they picked, the guy they had graded higher, was a bust, and their Tucker Kraft is looking like he's going to be something special this season. I know he's not anything crazy yet, but I promise you that guy's coming. He's going to break out. So at the end of the day, no one cares where you were drafted, and even if you spend 2 draft picks on the same position, you're not going to hit on every draft pick. So you have to make sure you're taking the best player available at all times, which is why it is definitely a good idea to go ahead and select 2 talented players like this. If you are if you have them graded that high, go ahead, trust your scouting, trust the people you have in that room, and go ahead and just take the guys that you believe in. But now, Breece Hall, I do think, should he get the touches, we know what kind of talent this guy is. I don't want to talk about a ton of Breece Hall potential with this video, because he just said he doesn't want to talk about potential anymore, and I can show him the respect about not talking about potential anymore. So talking about what he should be doing this year, he's of course going to get less touches with the committee backfield approach, and now we can expect his efficiency to go up because he won't be as tired when he is getting that ball. We can expect his receiving work is going to go down because Justin Fields, should he be healthy, which I fully expect him to be healthy, seeing how he was back practicing lightly on Saturday afternoon at training camp, Justin Fields is going to run the ball instead of checking it down to Breece. So that's going to hurt his targets. He's already going to get hurt on carries from the committee backfield approach. What Breece Hall needs to do is make the most of the touches he does get, and he's going to be just fine contract-wise, whether it is with the New York Jets or with a different organization. It's been tough historically for running backs to get money, and that's because their position is the least important in football, and they get hurt the most, and they're very easy to replace. So it makes a ton of sense why running backs are not getting paid. But Breece Hall, he is, all he has to do is do what we have seen him do in the past as a rookie. Just go out, do it again, He should be bigger, faster, stronger. Theoretically, I know he had the injury, but he's been working, came back strong off that injury. Have a good year. He'll get his money, whether it's with the Jets or someone else, because the Jets still have to pay ABT. They still have to pay Jermaine Johnson, should Jermaine Johnson come out and have a good season as well. We do have to take into account the salary cap is going to be going up, obviously, for next year when Breece Hall is looking for this contract extension. I do hope we re-sign Breece Hall, but we're going to have to see. Maybe Braelon Allen or Isaiah Davis break out farther and this team decides they don't need him. Maybe the Detroit line or the Aaron Glenn does exactly what the Detroit Lions did 2 years ago, and they take a running back in the first round when we don't really have a need at running back. Who knows? But that's what I got for this video. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and go Jets.